Bat who hides his humanity beneath a cape. The android who wants to be human. What is love to them? Hey guys, Batman Winter 7 here. It's August now, a new month. For some of you, if younger people are watching, are going to school, whether it be high school, middle school, elementary school, or college. And also it's a time of change, a time of rebirth, and a time of returning to normalcy, I think. And something I've been doing a lot is returning to something that I really love and have always loved, which is animation. Specifically, animation on the silver screen. Stuff like We Bare Bears, I binged all of Harley Quinn, and, so much more. But what I really want to talk about within the realm of animation, specifically in Batman Brave and the Bold, is empathy.
You know what makes humans different from other animals?
Feet.
No, come on, bears have feet.
We're the only species on Earth that observes Shark Week. Sharks don't even observe Shark Week, but we do. For the same reason, I can pick up this pencil, tell you its name is Steve, and go like this.
Oh.
And part of you dies, just a little bit on the inside, because people can connect with anything.
We can empathize with anything. The art we watch when we're growing up teaches us, I think, even more sometimes than our parents, our friends, or our schools. Batman raised me, whether it was Kevin Conroy, Reno Romano, or in this case, Diedrich Bader. Art builds empathy. It teaches us and reminds us why we need to care, and care deeply. Batman the Brave and the Bold, the Batman show, and show in general that means to me most, forms so much of who I am. And I want to explore that in 2 episodes that reveal the yearning for a human heart from a robot and the fear of a Batman to be human. Most people see this show as pure camp, pointless fun, or a DC show that happens to have Batman but doesn't have the quote-unquote dark qualities that they so desperately need to take it seriously. We open with Red Tornado disguised as a man, teaching at a college, basking in his normalcy. There's an uncontrollable truck going down the street, children in danger. It's Christmas time. Red removes his guise and saves the children from being hit. The father of the children he saved thanks him and says something that Red Tornado doesn't understand. Quote-unquote, Christmas spirit? What does that even mean? When he asks for more, the kid describes it as a tingly feeling inside when it's the bestest time of the year. And he realizes something in this. He's never felt this before, because he can't. He's a robot, doomed to want something he cannot grasp. So this saddens him, perturbs him. As is his mind, he consults a book for some logical answer, but that doesn't work. So he decorates his house, hoping this would invoke something in him. It would awaken this tingly feeling inside, that it would fill him. Nothing. He puts on a Christmas sweater. He does all of the things, the natural things, the obvious things, the presentation of Christmas, but yet he still doesn't feel it. So he sings Christmas carols in his own robotic, out-of-tune way, but nothing. He tries to craft a formula for the Christmas spirit because Red Tornado can't grasp human emotion. He must think through logic and rationale and try to quantify this tingly feeling, this Christmas spirit. He almost gets the answer from this pseudo-animated version of It's a Wonderful Life, but it's interrupted with a news program alerting that Martians and flying saucers are attacking, asking for Santa. So Red Tornado races into action to join Batman in the fight. We get some great Brave and the Bold, per usual, just amazing action. Tornado wishes Batman a Merry Christmas, but there's no time for that. Flying saucers, people in danger, justice must be served. That's what's on Batman's mind, not the Christmas spirit. The transmission on the television is from a movie from 1954, according to Tornado's research, and once they destroy the saucers, they find a logo on it, Funhouse. Basically, Toyman, don't ask me any more questions, I don't know why they made up a new character. Red Tornado makes his top priority that Funhouse doesn't ruin Christmas. Batman is baffled by this, saying there's so much more important things afoot, considering Funhouse's crook nature. And right here in this exchange, we get some subtle character work between the two of them. Quote unquote, "I am lacking in Christmas spirit. It is something I wish to experience." Batman responds with a blanket retort. It's overrated. Batman has a cynical nature towards the whole affair. Tornado gives him a present, a mug that says World's Greatest Detective. But this means even more than he knows, because a Christmas, a gift, these elements have a heartbreaking resonance for Batman. We get a peek into Bruce's past, a Christmas when his parents were still alive, and a present. As Tornado and Batman search for Funhouse, he asks Batman, "Why do you dislike Christmas?" He deflects, "I don't dislike Christmas, I dislike crime." Now we meet Evil Santa, who stalks both Tornado and Batman. Not the first Evil Santa I've seen, and certainly not the last. It's a robot. Funhouses, and there's more. As the horde of evil Santas attack Batman and Red Tornado, two kids are stuck in a moving sleigh with an evil Santa. In case you forget how cool this show is, Batman separates one of the reindeer and rides it to save the children. Batman destroys the Santa robot, then they go off a cliff, saved by Red Tornado at the last second. There's this kid crying, not because of the evil Santas who are now destroyed, but because he wants this action figure, and this brings Bruce back to his memory. The gift. A gift that Thomas's father gave him. The Nutcracker. Passed down to Bruce, but Bruce responds with disdain. This isn't what he asked for, and he doesn't want anything to do with it. He throws it in anger, childish, selfish anger, and breaks it back to the present. They get a message from Playhouse on a TV connected to a Santa. Playhouse has hidden a bomb, and they have to find it before it's too late. They realize it's a wild goose chase. Red Tornado remarks, "It's Christmas morning. I hope we both get what we wish for most," he says. Bruce's mind goes back to that night. His parents took him to the Zorro movie, hoping a swashbuckler movie might make up for the lack of a swashbuckler toy. But Bruce is unforgiving. The alley. Crime alley. We don't follow them into the alley, just a darkness. Two flashes. A little boy screaming for his mom and dad. A little boy who was angry at his father for giving a gift, not the gift he wanted. He'd give anything now to have a gift from his father. A gift of his time. A gift of his love. But he scorned it, wasted it. His last Christmas in a hail of anger and gunshots.
Sometimes what you wish for most is the one thing you can never have.
Then they realize the game Funhouse is playing. He made the action figures, and they're coming to life as kids open them, something straight out of Toy Soldiers. These action figures are heading to their master, stealing Christmas, as Dr. Seuss would say. Then in classic Brave and the Bold fashion, as Tornado and Batman are about to stop Funhouse, the action figures stack on top of each other to form a Megazord. I mean a giant robot. Funhouse tries to stop and laser down everyone, but the heroes start evacuating the neighborhood. Tornado destroys the robot, saves Christmas, but at the cost of his own life. And at that moment, he feels it. That tingly feeling, that Christmas spirit. But that's not the end of the episode, or the end of Red Tornado. Red Tornado is put back together, and Batman goes back into his Batmobile to find a gift in his passenger seat. He opens it, a nutcracker from Alfred, a gift from his surrogate father. He smiles, but his dedication to protecting the innocent, that doesn't take a holiday. The Bat who lost something so great that night fights every single moment that he might find the light in the darkness. I wrote to the writer of this story before I wrote this video, and here's what he said about the process behind it.
I'm pretty sure the idea for the story originated with executive producer Michael Jelenic, probably in coordination to some degree with executive producer James Tucker. I think they were keen to portray Red Tornado in a Mr. Data kind of way, coming to understand human traditions and emotions. Once the idea was in place, I was called in to help them flesh it out, and then write the script. I can't remember exactly what I contributed to the story, but I had written a sentimental Father's Day issue of the Robin comic for DC a couple years earlier, and I do recall trying for the same tone when Alfred's gift to Batman is revealed at the end. My writing of Batman for this story was entirely based on the character from already completed scripts of the show. His voice was pretty clear, and so was the tone Michael and James were trying to achieve. To write Red Tornado, I pulled from my experience writing the Justice League Unlimited comic for DC, in one issue of which we spotlighted the character. I've always really liked him. Piece of trivia for you. The script was originally titled Goodwill Towards Robot Men. I think Michael and James had decided to make the episode titles a little more dynamic and kitsky, like the title of many 1960s comic stories, which always seemed to have an exclamation point at the end.
Special thank you to Adam Beechen for your time and your insight into the story. Before I wrote this video, I tweeted at the writer of this second episode, J.M DeMatteis, being the writer, one of my favorites, asking for some insight into how he wrote it.
That's a favorite of mine. The basic idea came from the producers, and I developed it from there. One of the saddest, most tragic B&B episodes. An exploration of fathers and sons and what it means to be human, which is right in my wheelhouse. I pull from my own heart, my own emotions, my own relationships.
Special thank you to him for giving me some insight into this beautiful episode of television. And thank you, J.M DeMatteis, for all your work in comics, television, and film that constantly inspires me. Justice League International, Dr. Fate, and your work on Spider-Man and Batman the Brave and the Bold episodes like this. In Hail the Tornado Tyrant, we see Red Tornado trying to sire a robotic son, bring someone into the world like himself, but better. Someone who could feel, empathize, and love.
Family is something we all long for, even a robot.
Tornado's son comes to life, but a son who only sees logic, and with the purpose of working as a team, helping humanity together. The villain, Disaster, is causing havoc at an amusement park. The combined talents of Batman, Red Tornado, and his son, Tornado Champion, beat him. But as Red Tornado is applauding his son, Disaster hits the robot with a lightning bolt. For a moment, Red Tornado believes his son is hurt, possibly destroyed. but instead he is forever changed. Where there were dark eyes, there is now a light, perhaps a soul made of silicon, but a soul nonetheless. After some analysis, they conclude the electricity activated his emotional programming. His son hugs him, filled with happiness and gratitude. Though Champion is eager to help, Batman is skeptical as expected. Champion, as practically a newborn, asks questions of Tornado. True human questions, like why is there evil in the world?
But why is there evil in the world?
Human philosophers have endeavored to answer that question for thousands of years, son, and have yet to find an adequate answer.
Do you have an answer, Father?
No answers, only an observation. Human kindness is far preferable to human cruelty.
Why is it preferable?
Because
Because is not a logical answer, Father.
perhaps not, but based upon my studies of humankind, it is the only answer.
Throughout the episode, we see the two of them save many people from many different dangers, and Champion's undying curiosity shines through, a need for understanding. Batman watches from afar, untrusting. There's a burning building, classic superheroic task. How Champion handles it is emblematic of him as a character. He goes in half-cocked, unaware of the ultimate danger the environments hold to the people he's trying to save, lacking the empathy to understand human fear, lacking empathy to make him a hero they can trust, believe in, hope in. He scares these kids, and the adults question him, thinking he might have hurt them, but Champion responds in not reassurance of his kindness, his helpfulness, his humility, but with pure aggression and insecurity. They call him a robot, and Champion point blank doesn't recognize that that's the truth, because that's not how he feels. He feels human. They go back to the beach and talk. Tornado implores him not to let his emotions control him.
I don't understand. I think, I feel. I'm human in almost every way, and yet they're still afraid of me, of both of us. They see us as something other.
In his insecurity and isolation, Champion is quick to condemn the people that fear him. This isolation drives him towards aggression, but Tornado encourages him that humans will adapt and eventually they will accept them. Give it time. Champion completely denies this in selfish anger, leaving Tornado. Then after a quick exchange, Batman and Red Tornado find out Disaster is breaking out of prison, causing a stir of weather trouble. Champion meets them there, reassuring his father that he'll always be there to back him up. During the fight, Disaster hits Red Tornado, throwing him into electrical wires, electrocuting him. In a heat of emotion, Champion goes ham on Disaster. Hit after hit, he wants to kill him. Unrelenting of his vengeance upon Disaster, Batman intervenes, grappling his hand, the tornado hitting the prison wall, the rubble re-alerting Red Tornado. Batman challenges Champion, saying there's a difference between justice and revenge. Champion sees revenge as more efficient, scoffing at human morality, attacking Batman mercilessly. Red Tornado intervenes, invoking their call of duty as servants of humanity, protectors. But all Champion sees is that humanity is a disease to be stomped out. Batman throws a battering at Champion, electrocuting him, knocking him out. In the lab, Tornado tries to rationalize his son's actions as software problems, while Batman tells him he needs to shut him down. It seems it works as they walk out, but Champion removed the failsafe some time ago. He gets a makeover, so to speak, turning into the Tornado Tyrant. Back at the beach, he causes a tidal wave, taking out cars and endangering people. He is now intent on killing everyone and everything. Batman and Red Tornado arrive to stop him. He calls humanity biological jokes, poisons to the Earth as a whole. Maybe he's right, but Red Tornado believes differently. This whole fight is awesome, but I think this whole episode and Red Tornado as a character can be summed up in this quote.
Not jokes. They aspire. They dare to dream, to reach out to each other, to love. Blah, blah, blah. Declaration. You cannot mock love, for it was love that created you.
This is Red Tornado, a creation, a robot, a case of metal that loves against all rationale, empathizes against all reason, and cherishes the human race even when it costs him his one chance at true happiness in his son. The android who loves is willing to give up his happiness to save ours, and the bat who lost everything, he risks everything, every single day, to make sure that no one ever suffers what he suffered. Why pair these characters and discuss these two episodes of a kid's show? Because in these two characters, I see us and what we hope to be. The lonely orphan, isolated from the world, searching for love and giving more than we take. Cynical of what we lost and what could be lost. The robot who wants a heart, desperately seeking what so many take for granted, the capacity to love and people to cherish. So dream, aspire, reach out to each other, love unabashedly, and in everything. Love what you have. Don't be lost in what is long since past. I'll leave with this.
You okay?
Why would I not be?
Take care, Tornado.
If the bat who lost everything can reach out a hand, and the android who loves can cry, then who will you be, dear viewer? Good night.
Can't say that I like what you've done with the place.
Father and Uncle Batman, how lovely to see you.
You serious?